Hi, Dave McIntosh here with another adventure for you. In this video, we are going to take a trip along Highway 60 to Rock Lake. Rock Lake is another place where you can access the backcountry area, which we have enjoyed on a number of occasions, as well as there's a campground right next to it that we have stayed at as well. Rock Lake is on the east side of the park and on the south side of Highway 60, and you need to turn off and take a gravel road several kilometers to get back to Rock Lake. Or the access to the interior is several hundred meters up a river right off of Rock Lake. At the access point, there is a nice dock where you can unload and a place to park your car while you're in the interior. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. If you travel 100 meters or so past the access point, you come to a campground, and it's a good size with places for tents or camper trailers or RVs, but you will need to make reservations well ahead of time, especially in July and August. We have stayed here with a camper van on a couple of occasions and then traveled around Rock Lake and to Penn Lake for a day trip. Some of the campsites come with water and electricity, but as it is in so far, there's no access to the internet, though you might have some cell service. It is a great place for a dark sky location, and that allowed me to get some great Milky Way photos. Also, traveling in and out along the gravel road, there is a marsh along the side of the road, and we have seen moose along here and got some great photos. We have really enjoyed our times at the campground. We have also had some great trips into the interior from here, though this access point doesn't have any natural circle routes that you can take. This is because most of the portages are between 2,000 and 3,000 meters to get between lakes. We weren't prepared to do this, so we traveled out the same way we went in. From Rock Lake, which is a good-sized lake, you can travel to Penn Lake. The portage to Penn isn't bad, and there is a treat in the middle of the portage, a freshwater spring with cold, clear water. We always fill our bottles here on our way past. Penn Lake is a long, narrow lake with a number of good campsites. We have enjoyed camping here on a couple of occasions. It is pretty private, with only a few canoeing through each day. There is also a lot to discover. Beaches, sand hills with a good amount of reeds along the west shore for birds like the blue heron, as well as all kinds of wildlife like ducks and loons, chipmunks, and red squirrels. I remember sitting by the shore one morning and this weasel came past for a visit. Sorry for the poor photos. If you travel on, as we did, to Clydesdale Lake, you will find yourself in wilderness. We camped here a couple of nights on one trip and saw no one else on the lake while we were there. Another time, there was only one campsite occupied while we were there, but we found Clydesdale a great spot to see moose. One morning, I was up early and sitting by the shore, and right across the lake there was a moose enjoying breakfast. Another time, we were canoeing along and a bull moose was grazing along the shore and gave me an opportunity to get some photos. Then another time, we were canoeing around near the far end of the lake and we saw this big bull moose grazing on the water lilies in a little bay. We paddled quietly towards the moose as it kept its eyes on us and we on it. We were able to get quite close, but not as close as you might think, as I have a fairly big lens. After a bit, we eased back, and then that's when we looked up and there was a cow and a calf by the shore. We left without disturbing them, but with full hearts for what we had seen and experienced. Wow, that was an experience I will never forget. We had some good campsites on Clydesdale, the kind that we like, open with easy access to the lake, and there was a lot of wildlife to enjoy. As we traveled back to Penn Lake, along the portage is a cascade waterfalls, which we stopped and enjoyed. And then just north of the portage is a small island, and as we passed it, an eagle flew off its perch. Great to see up there. One thing we always like to see and hear on these trips are the look and sound of loons. When you get up in the morning and you hear the loons out on the lake calling to each other, it is amazing. Getting back to the portage to Rock Lake is something we look forward to, and another drink of that clear, cold water from the spring on the portage. Rock Lake, as I said at the beginning, is a good-sized lake, and when you're coming out, you both look forward to being out and sad that your trip is almost over. In the middle of the lake is an island, so on one trip we stayed on it the last night, just to extend our stay a little. It was a great campsite, and we saw a beaver that night and were visited by chipmunks and red squirrels. Then the next day we were back at the access point and heading home with some amazing memories to enjoy. Hope you enjoyed this adventure with us, and I look forward to the next time when we are going to take another trip, but this time up the west side of the park. There are a couple access points up on the west side that give you a different perspective on the park, this beautiful, big, wonderful park in Ontario.